Hello and welcome to another IELTS listening tips video. In this video I'm going to give you some exam day advice for the IELTS listening exam. So I have 5 tips for how to be more prepared on the day of your IELTS listening exam. And the first piece of advice that I have is to arrive 30 minutes before the exam is supposed to begin. Now this is important because this gives you time to mentally prepare for the exam, and it also means you won't feel stressed or rushed. I've seen quite a lot of students be late for their exams, and that puts them in a bad frame of mind, in a bad mood. They're stressed and worried and not thinking clearly about the exam. So arrive 30 minutes before the exam is supposed to begin. If you're there early, you can use that time to mentally prepare. If you're late, you are not going to perform as well as you should. My second piece of advice for the listening exam is to know the order of what will happen on exam day. So you should know when your listening exam is and when the writing or speaking or reading exams are. So the order of the exams on exam day, first for most students, except for in Australia, for most students you will have the listening exam first, followed by the reading exam, and then the 2 writing tasks, task 1 and task 2. Now this is true for most countries. In Australia, in the last year or so, they changed the order a little bit, and they went with writing, reading, and listening. So it depends where you do your exam. Know the order of the exams, that way you know what to get ready for. So while you're waiting for the listening exam to begin, you should be thinking about that. When you finish that, you know that reading will come next. Get prepared for the reading exam. My next piece of advice is when you practice, make sure you practice with real conditions. This helps you on exam day because you are then ready for what will happen. You can do the same things that you have been doing at home or in your classroom. So students who do something different at home and then on exam day everything changes, they won't perform as well. So you should know exactly what will happen on exam day and use those conditions when you do practice tasks. Also on exam day, as when you do practice tasks, make sure you use a clear strategy for the listening exam. I am talking quite often about how students need to know step by step what they will do for each part of the exam, what they will do first, what happens next, so that everything is logical and in order. This makes you feel much more comfortable and relaxed on the day of the exam because you know what to do. When you get that paper, you should know step 1, do this. Step 2, do that. You should have a clear strategy. And in my other videos, I do go into a bit more detail about how to create an IELTS listening strategy. And my final tip for exam day, for the listening exam, is to use all of the time you are given. Students quite often think there's not much time in the listening exam. And in some cases that is true. Some students need more time than others. But there is actually quite a bit of time. Before each section, before each set of questions, you have 30 seconds, sometimes up to a minute in the instructions. And also, obviously, at the end, you get 10 minutes to transfer your answers. Use that time. I've seen a lot of students do practice tasks, and in that final 10 minutes, they transfer everything within 2 minutes, and then they do nothing. Use that time. Use all the time you have to be doing some checking your answers, checking the spelling, checking that you have followed the instructions carefully. Use all the time that you are given in the listening exam. So those are my 5 tips for your exam day advice for being more comfortable and more relaxed and then scoring more points on the day of the IELTS listening exam. So let's just recap those. The first one is arrive 30 minutes before the exam. You should also know the order of the exam, listening, reading, and writing. You should practice with real exam conditions, so you're prepared on exam day. Use a clear strategy on the day of the exam, as well as when you practice, and use all of the time you are given during the listening exam. So I hope this information has helped you. If you would like more tips and advice for the IELTS listening exam, please visit my website, theieltscoach.com. Thank you for watching.